Hi, my name is Stafford. I chose the batteries and bulbs discrepant event. It falls under the standard physical science 3.3, understand electricity and magnetism in the relationship, specifically standards 3.31 and 3.32, summarize static and current electricity, as well as explain simple series and parallel DC circuits in terms of Ohm's law. To engage the students with this activity, I would probe the students' thinking by asking them what life may have been like prior to electricity. One way I could do this is to turn out the lights and ask students what are some ways that we were able to harness electricity. And I should get responses like solar, nuclear, hydroelectric, things they've learned in earth science. I'll also, if they don't come up with the batteries, I'll pull out a flashlight and ask them, well, how's a flashlight work? And of course, I should get the response that, they use batteries. So depending on how many students you have and the amount of resources available, typically they're going to work in pairs or small groups. I mean, if they can work individually, that's great too. But each pair or group will receive a Ziploc baggie. Each one's going to have one wire, one battery, typically a C battery, and a little 6-volt bulb. For what I'm going to do for my demonstration, I'm going to kind of up it a little bit. So I got a 9-volt battery and then a bigger 12-volt bulb. So I would say to the students, you are to find as many ways to light the bulb using these 3 materials. After each successful and unsuccessful attempt, you're going to sketch it in your journals. So again, they're going to record what they find, whether or not it worked or not, kind of take notes as to why it was successful. And students will try different things, but ultimately there's only one way to light it. I'm going to quickly demonstrate one of the possibilities of lighting the bulb. Some of the students may achieve this early on, and you should discourage them from telling the others, the right answer. You could have them come up with other possibilities, in the meantime. But the idea is the bulb must touch one of the terminals before the wire completes the circuit. Since the current's taking the path of least resistance, you can't just add the bulb later, to the circuit, or the current will just bypass it. So it has to go through the bulb back into the battery for it to actually light up. And this is where students have trouble finding or doing that. So let me go ahead and do it real quick. So again, I'm using a D battery just because I'm by myself. It helps to have more than one person, so they can all hold something while they do this. So I'm going to put the bulb right onto one of the terminals. Here's your wire. Again, I've got it curled just so that it's easier with one person. So one's going to touch the one terminal and the other the bulb, just like that. Okay, so it's not going to work if I put it right onto the both terminals as is. So it has to touch the battery and the other terminal for it to light up. Okay. So students will have like 10 to 15 minutes to explore this, sketch it, and take notes as they need to. Afterwards, students will come together in groups, talk about their findings, and then I wanted them to form a hypothesis as to why only certain ways worked. And then later on, you give your formal instructions, talk about, Ohm's law, current, all that good stuff. And then to further it, the next part of this, I would give them more materials, have them identify ways to increase the brightness, or even go as far as to make parallel circuits. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Thank you.